this is the foundation before we move into some of those other exercises, and you're going to see that the Belden Bar will expose some weaknesses. And now rotate to the other side. Oh. There you go. Look at you go, man. That's awesome. Okay, it's hard. Okay, it's really hard, and it's hard to keep your hips up. My name is Joe Belden. I'm the Assistant AD of Athletic Performance at Fringe University in Wichita, Kansas, and creator of the original Belden Bar. The Belden Bar is a very unique training tool. We've taken close chain movements like the push-ups and glute bridges, and we've added rotational torque to those movements. A lot of very unique exercises, exercises that you can't perform with any other implement. So whether you're a coach, an athlete, or just a fitness enthusiast, the Belden Bar has something to improve your performance.
All right, hey guys, Matt Goodwin, elitefts.com equipment sales. Today we're looking at the Belden Bar, new product for us that we're really excited about. Lucky enough today we have the founder of this apparatus, Joe Belden from Friends University, and he is going to coach our camera guy Noah through some of these movements. So hope you guys enjoy, pay attention. This is really good stuff. This is something really unique, and we're really excited about it.
Noah, soon to be Belden Bar expert.
Yep.
All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to perform the perfect push-up, because if we don't get everything right there, then all the rotational stuff that we add to it can go south in a hurry. So with the Belden Bar, we have some pads here that can just lift out. Okay, so we're going to lift these pads out to start. And Noah, what I want you to do is I want you to get in a push-up position with your hands approximately under your shoulders, maybe a little bit wider. Okay, so let's start off in that good push-up position, grabbing the bar. Okay, so Noah's going to get back. So the first thing we're looking at is good structural alignment. We want the shoulders over the elbows and over the wrists, so all those things in a line. We want a good neutral spine, neutral head, and we don't want to sag here at the low back. So we want a little bit of a thoracic tuck here, a little bit of a pelvic tilt, and he's going to tighten the abs, glutes, and quads. And right now he's going to imagine he's bending the bar. So the pits of his elbows are going to point forward and points are back. He's going to pull himself down into a good push-up position before driving his body away from the bar into the lockout. Okay, so that's how we teach the perfect push-up. Now, this is the foundation before we move into some of those other exercises, and you're going to see that the Belden Bar will expose some weaknesses. Okay, so with that, Noah, why don't you pop up? We're going to go ahead and put these pads back in. Let's go on the fourth hole in. All right, and the first exercise we're going to talk about is the twisted push-up. Okay, so we have two exercises that look the same, but they're really not. With the twisted push-up, what Noah's going to do is he's going to rotate his shoulders as he does the push-up. Okay, with the rotational push-up, his shoulders are going to stay square and the hands are simply going to rotate and move. Okay, so Noah, we're going to start with the rotational or the twisted push-up. So you can have your hands flat on the pad, or some people like to put their fingers over the end of the pad. Okay, whatever's most comfortable for you here. And from this point, all I want you to do is twist your shoulders along with the bar and now roll down to a push-up position. Okay, it's a little bit more of a twist, so kind of like a side crunch. There you go. And now as you come back, push up to the start. Okay, now let's go to the other side. All right, and twist. All right, and now come back up. Now, how far you twist is up to you. Okay, some people will twist a little bit, some will twist a lot. Depends on your thoracic mobility and your strength.
Now, when we're twisting, are we focusing on the oblique?
It's actually, you know, we talk about integration a lot here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting chest, we're getting shoulders,
Sure.
we're getting tricep, but yeah, we're cranking on that oblique.
And where did you feel that the most when you went down and twisted? Is it shoulders?
Definitely oblique.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're activating those.
All right. So now if we switch this up just a little bit, and now you're going to keep the shoulders square. Okay. And you're just going to rotate your hands up and now do the push-up from there. So what we actually have here, this is how I look at it, and now rotate back and now go to the other side, is we almost have a JM type pressing movement on this side, and we have a close grip push-up on the other side. So we're really getting the triceps. And if you move those pads in a little bit, you'll smoke your triceps.
Yep.
Okay, nice job. All right, good job. Yeah, you're feeling it. Yeah.
Activation.
So the stabilization, not just through not through the shoulders, but through the trunk. Through the trunk is amazing.
Yep.
You're having to stabilize. And once again, it will expose weaknesses for sure.
Because we're basically holding a plank through the whole movement anyways.
Absolutely.
So on top of doing the rotational push-up, everything else is going in as we are doing a plank the whole time. So yeah, it's the first time I used, like I said, I was sore from my underneath my chest all the way down to my pelvic bone.
It will hit some muscles that you're not accustomed
never
to.
used it.
There's nothing like it on the market. No. So, and we're not accustomed to those kind of movements. Okay, we're taking a close chain movement. We're adding rotational torque. And so now there's a lot going on there, a lot of co-contractions in the shoulder, which makes it great for shoulder health as well. But yeah, for sure. So very integrative tool. You want to take a break and go to some glute stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we can just jump into it. I don't need.
All right, well, let's go.
Young and in shape.
Yeah, if you'll get on your back here, and we're going to put our heels up on the pads. Now, the original Belden Bar, all I was trying to do was find a way to create another Sheena push-up board. The Sheena push-up boards go back to the days of like Alexander the Great and ancient Persia, and so just a way to find another push-up board variation so we could try to bend the bar, get people in good position for push-ups, and we know that crossed over to the bench press as well. Okay, but then we realized it rotated. But when Marty Mitchell, who's one of our partners in this, added the rotational pads, it was a difference.
Everything changed.
Yeah, difference maker. So right here, you'll lay on your back. We want a slight bend, so move forward a little bit. Yeah, there you go. So we want to bend, maybe a little bit more.
Get a little bend in your knee.
A little closer to 90 degrees, okay? Now, here's the trick. As you rotate, it's really hard to keep those hips up. All right, so what he's going to do now, just like with the glute bridge, he's going to push his hips up to the sky, get them as high as you can. There you go. Good luck holding that position. Now you're going to rotate. So this is a rotational glute bridge. Now go back the other way. So now we're not just like, you can do this like with TRX or jungle gym straps, but it's a straight line. It's very linear. We have more of a circular pattern here. So you're going to feel it, and we'll see where you feel it, but you're going to feel it in your hamstrings a little differently.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Very nice. Okay. Now go ahead and rest for a little bit. If we really want to work the nervous system, we want to teach it to contract and relax fast, we can add oscillations to it.
Okay.
So as he comes up in the air, we're going to perform a series of really quick 6 to 8 inch movements and just trying to teach those muscles to contract and relax quick. Very, very important for athletes and all sports. Okay. Another coaching point here is to make sure you dig those heels into the pad so they don't slip off.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you ready to go again?
Yep.
All right. Ready for your hamstrings to get smoked?
Yes.
All right. Hips up. And now just as quick as you can, go pop, pop, pop. All right, and good, stop. And I tell you, you talk about something that really works on neuromuscular coordination. They're so ugly in the beginning, and they're so hard to do, especially with lower body. Oscillations are. But once you get it, we'll see some of our athletes within about 4 or 5 times, they're just pop, 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 pop. Very, very quick and precise movements. You feel that?
Yeah.
Now you almost have to brace them.
You can go ahead and pop up.
You almost feel like you have to brace everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
right? Like you got to engage your core. Everything's got to be braced. So it is teaching that bracing, which is, I think, is hardest to get kids to understand, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, bracing is always going to be the toughest thing. It's hard to teach. It's hard to explain. And without a belt where you're pushing out onto it, it's kind of really hard to describe. But this, once you're in that and you're in that glute bridge and your hips are elevated and then you're popping your legs and you're working those hamstrings, if you're not completely engaged, you're going to be flopping all over, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it gets really ugly. But a lot of people really struggle to contract and relax fast. So one of the things we know is, like, if I'm going to flex my bicep, my tricep has to relax. That antagonistic muscle has to relax. Well, with anything we do, if we can't relax those muscles quick, we can't exhibit full power force. So, and we can't be quick with our movements. And so as an athlete, that's very important. Okay.
So when you were in that glute bridge position, where were you feeling the most tension?
Hamstrings.
Hamstrings.
Sure.
Yeah.
Glutes
a little bit. Little tank.
Glutes, but more.
More so it's hamstring isolated.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, another variation now that we've let you stand up for a while and rest and get out of that position. Let's pop back down and let's do it again, but now we're gonna make a slight change. Okay, so now as your heels go up on the bar, and once again, we can move the pads in or out, okay? But now I want you to point your toes out this time, okay? And now come up kind of in a frog stance, okay? So now hips up and now rotate. Okay, so now you're feeling a little differently, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can put your hips down now. I don't want to wear you out too much early. Now let's point your toes in. Okay, so kind of changing, the angle of the, and you don't have to pull your knees in quite as much. Just point the toes in. Now hips up, and now rotate. Okay, you're feeling probably a little bit more inner hamstring there, right? Yeah. A little bit more outer hamstring. All right, and good. All right, so we let him rest a little bit, got him back down that position. You know, you do need, I mean, to be able to perform these efficiently, you know, you need a little bit of rest in between sets.
Yeah. So how are you doing your sets and your reps and everything with this? Like, so is there like a time that you're putting in between sets? Or?
Yeah, it depends on, what we do. We run so many athletes through our programs that we might pair it with some other things.
Okay.
So they'll go from one thing to another thing, then they'll come back to it.
Yep.
And what we do with this, unless we're doing, it depends on what phase of our training we're in, but we might go to something that's completely not hamstring related.
Sure.
Okay. So we could go from this to something that's more,
Maybe upper body or
anterior,
something.
sling related, and go from there. So before we show you the 10 to 2, we're going to pop up and do some more push-ups. All right. So we're going to switch around here. So now we're going to add. Now we've taken the perfect push-up and we've added a twist to it, right? Literally the twisted push-up, and we've done rotational push-ups, and you saw the difference there. So now we're going to show you a grasshopper push-up. Okay, so with the grasshopper push-up, you're going to get in position, and a good push-up position again, and I want you to follow my instructions. Okay, from here, you're going to rotate the bar down to the left, and you're going to take your right knee underneath your body and try to touch your elbow with it as you go down into a push-up position. All right, and now back up. All right, and now let's go to the other side. So really swivel those hips under. So we want to try to get that thigh so that it is more parallel to the ground. Oh, there we go. Wow. Nice job. And so right now we can see if somebody has tight hips.
Yes.
Okay, and we can see if the slings are working appropriately as well. All right, and good. While you're in that position, let's try a Spider-Man push-up. Now with Spider-Man push-up, as you rotate the right arm down, you're gonna take the right knee up to the elbow of that arm, okay? And get that knee up. So we wanna get that good external rotation up there with the hip. There you go. Really get up there, nice, good job. All right, and you can pop up. Where did you feel that?
Everywhere.
Your abs everywhere. Yeah, so.
Definitely some shoulders too.
Yeah, and obviously you felt it, in the hips. I mean, you're having to pull that across. You're really working that anterior oblique sling. And it's basically, like we said, it's about integration. Really, it's about taking, making it more of an integrative tool, kind of, like we are in sports. Okay, so like we are in everyday life. Okay, so are you ready for a big challenge?
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
Do you know what a scorpion is?
Yeah, they got the tail like.
Yeah, so let's just pop down on the ground, not on the push-up bar, but let's show them a scorpion real quick. So on your stomach, all right, hands out to the side, and
Yep, sir.
Yeah.
All right, and now what we're gonna do, I want you to lift your right leg up in the air, and then I want you to try to take it all the way over the top and touch your left hand.
Oh.
All right, can you come all the way over? There you go, and now come back. All right, now let's go up and over with the other leg. Now imagine that we were doing this on the push-up, on the push-up bar. Okay, so nice. Okay, so you got the movement pattern, right?
Yeah.
Now are you ready to try it?
Yeah.
You don't know. Okay, so
Better you than me.
yeah, this one's a hard one. This one's really advanced. Okay, most people do well just to flip their leg over the top. So don't think that you have to come all the way over and touch your shoulder or touch the ground, you know, with that other foot. Okay, so go ahead and pop down that push-up position. All right, and now as you rotate down,
Which way am I rotating?
yeah, you're gonna come down this way because you're gonna have to lock in, and let's go with this leg over the top. All right. Oh, and back. All right. So very, very difficult. Oh, there we go. Up and good. Go ahead and try it the other way. See if you like it.
What do you mean?
So rotate the opposite way. Yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's, I think, the same way he was going. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So rotate up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I don't like it that way as much.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. So you got to come down. Okay. Ultimately, now you're looking at working your posterior oblique swing. You got a little bit of heat going, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a little hot.
Yeah, a little bit hot. Okay, so let's scale it back a little bit now. So let's say you're not quite ready for the push-ups. Okay, and let's say you've just come out of shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt
Been there,
just
done
came out of
that.
one. I've had 3 and a shoulder replacement. So we've been through all that rehab stuff. Just getting in that good plank position and locking in and doing rotational planks. Okay, so let's get in a high plank position. Okay, and so let's say we need to scale it back just a little bit. Okay, he's still got a neutral spine, he's thoracic tuck, a little bit of a pelvic tilt there, so he's braced and he's locked in, and now just rotate it back and forth with straight arms. There you go, good. Okay, so that's just a rotational plank, right? He's keeping the shoulder square. Now let's do a twisted plank. So now as you turn, so now you're turning your body with it. Yeah, put the crunch with it, good, and come back up. Yeah, okay, and you're feeling that, aren't you? Okay, so this is how we can walk it back and scale it back. It doesn't feel like you're scaling it back though, does it? All right, now drop to your elbows. Okay, and now this would be a low level plank here. So we're going from the elbows. And so once again, same concepts apply with how we want to brace here. And now bring your hands kind of to the inside, and there you go. And elbows, yeah, forearms on there, and you're going to twist, and you don't have to twist very far. There you go, now come back.
Yep.
Okay, so even with some of our athletes, we'll put a med ball in their hand. You know, yeah, they can hold a med ball. It kind of keeps their arms locked in here. All right, and good. You're good.
And I was using that a lot, Joe, after surgery.
Yeah.
So after surgery, probably about maybe week 12, 13, I was down in that plank on forearms, and I was able to kind of rotate. And the upper scapula is like, I was really kind of braced in. I was feeling that engagement, which is, you know, where I needed it the most.
God, the co-contraction between like the serratus and the rhomboids, maybe lower traps. I mean, you know, everything's having to work probably a little bit overtime.
A little bit overtime.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't like a hard, like a high impact movement that I was doing that I was worried about tearing something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, when you did the rotational thing, I knew how far I could go. You know, and then I would stop and go back. But that on the forearms was a good way, especially if you're doing like shoulder rehab or something like that. I think it's a good way to brace, keep that thing locked in.
Now, it feels a little nicer,
A little tighter.
from a plank position if we move this in. So now, Noah, if you would get down in that plank position again, and let's see if you can perform some oscillations with this. So just a series of really quick, just movements back and forth. Yeah, there you go, there you go. Real quick, and they can even be a little shorter. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what it's supposed to look like right there. Nice job. All right. Now you ask if this is going to be a full workout. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Okay, very good. Okay, so now let's go back to an upper level hamstring exercise called a 10 to 2. Okay, so we're going to bring these back out to the 4th hole.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. And now, not too many people can do these out of the gate, but looking at you, I think you can. All right, so
He is an athlete.
he is an athlete, okay? Yeah, okay, so you're gonna lay on your back again, and you're gonna need to have a good 90-degree bend in one foot and one leg. You're gonna put your heel on here, all right? And now the other leg's gonna come off the ground as you lift your hip into a single leg glute. Now you're gonna rotate to one side, yeah, and extend, and now bring it back, and now rotate to the other side. Oh. There you go. Look at you go, man. That's awesome. Okay, it's hard. Okay, it's really hard, and it's hard to keep your hips up, all right, and good. Now you better do it with the other leg so they're even.
Even that out.
Yeah, so.
Even it out.
Yep, got to even it out. Okay, so once again, he has to dig the heel in. He's going to lift the hip up the best he can. It's going to be hard.
Yep.
The hips it's going to go up and down a little bit, okay? But trying to control it. And now, you think about in the weight room, we work on the sagittal plane all the time. But now we're adding rotation, we're adding frontal plane stuff, and now we're working, it's very three-dimensional.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Very good. Nice job, dude. So now we can also do, we have a circle walk series. Okay, so what Noah can do now is he can put his feet on the pads and be in a push-up position. And he is simply going to walk around
your feet on here
and do a plank walk around. Yeah. Yeah. And we won't have you go all the way around, but you can get your feet up on the pads, and you're going to have to really dig your toes in. All right. Your legs are going to be straight. Once again, you're going to really maintain that good neutral spine, that good posture as you do this. We want the hands underneath the shoulders. So once again, stacked. Right? Yep. So we want good structural alignment, shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Now I want you to walk sideways this way.
Oh,
yeah, like this. And now you can go back. Okay, for the sake of us filming right now, and we don't have a lot of space here, don't run into the rack, okay? But that's how you'd perform the circle walk. You could go all the way around a complete circle.
And now, Joe, when you say stacked, let's make sure everybody understands. So what we're saying is we're trying to keep everything in a perfectly line.
Yeah.
Right? Shoulder, elbow, wrist.
Yeah. Good structural alignment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So kind of like when you're bench pressing.
Absolutely.
Everything in line, everything underneath it. So just when he says stacked, you guys understand what he's saying.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Okay. You can come down. Oh, man. Now let's move these pads in to the third hole. All right. Now we're going to give your upper body a little bit of a break. So now you get to lay back with your shoulders on here and your legs out in front. Okay, shoulders up on here. Now glute bridge. Now you're going to do a circle walk from the glute bridge position. Good.
That's good.
All right, and now go back the other way. And if you want to make these real difficult, put a band around your legs. Yep, and pushing out. Very good. All right, and nice. Now, what if you want to work your hamstrings more? Kick your feet out farther. Straighten your legs more. Just now go. Yeah. Very simple move, very simple adjustment like that. Changes the whole stimulus of the movement.
So going from a 90 out.
Yeah.
45.
And now we're getting more hamstring. Yep. All right. And good.
Did you feel the difference in that? No. Just by kicking your feet out?
Yep.
All right. You're good.
This is torture.
All right.
It's amazing. One little tool, one little tool, guys, like something small like this could be transported anywhere. You can take it anywhere with you.
Absolutely.
It is a 2-inch pin, just so you guys know. So it will drop into like a prowler pole. You can drop it in there. So if you have a prowler at home, this is something you can just stick in there. You don't need to stack it on your plates. But
anything you can drop a landmine into.
Anything you can drop a landmine into, you're going to be able to do the same thing. So,
absolutely. All right. So now we're going to show you another very unique variation. Almost everyone knows what a Bulgarian split squat is, but what if we put a little bit of a rotation to it? So what Noah's going to do is he's going to stand by the pads, he's going to step forward, and then he's going to take one foot and put back on the pad. Now, once again, he's going to want to drive the ball of his foot into the pad, okay? And he's using an implement. It can be a PVC pipe. It could be, here we have a weighted bar. It could be whatever you need to. It could be a rack, okay? Just something to help stabilize, okay? Because this is a very unique and difficult movement that's going to really challenge your balance and coordination. So as he works into a split squat, he's going to push the bar out, so it's going to rotate. Come on back up. All right. Yeah, so that's good. Okay.
We got
the first one right there. We got the movement pattern.
As you come
so
down,
now rotate out. All right. And now drive through that front foot and bring it back. Once again, keeping that ball of the foot driving into that pad so you don't lose contact. Now we're gonna have you, as you come back up, rotate to the other side. So now you're gonna bring it back to your left now.
Go down again.
Yeah, and go down again. Push out, rotate it down, almost like a curtsy lunge.
Yep.
Okay, or a dragon lunge. All right, very good. All right, that's good.
Breathe.
All right. So
Gotta even it out.
once again, I mean, we're constantly, with all the exercises we do here, we're constantly challenging coordination, mobility, stability.
Yep.
Okay, all those things are being challenged as we do this.
Now, no, when you came inside, but I'll let you do that one. I'm going to ask a question when you
Yeah.
get to the other position.
Where are you feeling that?
Like here, from here, and a little bit of my calf.
Yeah, from bracing.
Yeah, trying to push in. Good. Working on some foot stiffness too. How about that? Good.
You coming in there?
Oh.
You feeling that in your hip flexor? Yeah.
Oh, hip. All right. All right, and pop back up. So the coordination part of it is really, I mean, you've got to get the movement patterns down. And once again, there's nothing that can really prepare you for it.
No, and again, we're back to bracing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you are not braced, you're going to fail in this movement. So, you know, if nothing else, we're teaching bracing on almost every movement we're doing. With
Absolutely.
stuff,
Absolutely.
which a lot of people struggle with. Noah said himself, that's, you know, he struggles with that. So,
My core is lit up.
Well, and the ability to contract and relax when needed.
right.
And so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, in life and sport, we a lot of times don't think about, oh, I've got a brace right now. We think about it when we're doing a heavy squat or a heavy deadlift,
That's
maybe,
it.
or something like that. But that's about it. So we need to be able to do it on demand. And so that's, I think, one of the things that this teaches as we get into it. And you think about your nervous system having to adjust to these movements and, you know, the oscillatory movements, especially just training your nervous system to contract and relax quick. So,
And you're putting
the control.
rotational into movements that never have rotation.
Right. So once again, rotation, so transverse plane, frontal plane stuff, you know, where a big part of what we do in the weight room is all sagittal.
Sure.
You know, so it's a way to, it's just yet a different variation, different training tool. Okay. Is this a replacement for getting under the bar? Depending on what you're doing, probably not. I mean, if you're a fitness enthusiast, you can get a full body workout with this. There's no question. There's no question. We use it a lot as an accessory tool.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really good for re-educating, you know, shoulder stability, all that kind of thing. Next year, as we run our groups through, we're going to use this as a primer, you know, for our bench press. So it's going to be one of our warm-up exercises when we go to bench or do any pressing movements as well. You can use it, you know, as a deload. You can use it in season. I mean, there's a lot of variations. It'd be a standalone tool like we talked about. So there's a lot of things that you can do with it, and very efficient, very effective, and it's compact.
Yep.
It doesn't take up very much space.
So easy to store, easy to move around.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sturdy. It's a, you know, very well built bar, right?
I'm definitely impressed by it. Like, looking at, because we've had it here for a little bit, and I've looked at it, I was like, I don't know how to use it, but I was like, what really can you kind of do with such a thing?
Yeah. So let's,
Yeah, it's like, wow.
So let's talk about a couple other things that are very unique to this bar. Okay. So Noah, if you'll get in a push-up position again, and what I want you to do this time is, as you come down, you're going to pull yourself down into a good push-up position. As you come up, I want you to supinate your hands. So turn the pads out. Yeah. So as you come up, turn out. All right. Now turn them back in as you go down.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Now back in as you go down and out as you come up.
Twist.
So keep it here. You're right here. And now go down.
I'm turning them in or no?
And up just right there. And now as you come up, push out. Yeah. And supinate. Now do a couple more reps there. Down and supinate. One thing, how much supination do we get in our workouts?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. We get some.
Some,
Yeah,
not a lot.
and we, you know, anytime we're rotating, you know, as we're turning, we do, but this is a little bit different. We typically don't get it with presses. Now go to your fists. Put your fists down in here. So let's say you're a fighter, okay? And so now let's get in a good push-up position. Say we want to do the opposite. So go down into a good push-up position, and now as you come up, rotate in. So pronate. There you go. Okay, so now come back, neutral, and then pronate as you come up, turn in. All right. Oh yeah, a lot of stability there, huh? So it changes the stimulus. So, you know, really as strength coaches, I mean, we're in the business of managing stress and creating stimulus, right? And so this gives us a tool to do that. Now, one of the big questions that people ask is, what about progressive overload? How do we load it? Well, we could put a weight vest on, okay? We take bands and put around our shoulders.
Around the back.
Around the back when we do push-up variations. And so we have about 5 different weighted bands that we can put, you know, around our shoulders. That works really, really well. We've taken carabiners and attached to the end, and you can attach bands up a rack if they're inside a rack. You could attach a band to each side, to the outside. If you attach bands, you know, to the front on both sides, then you're getting assistance and resistance, and they offset each other. So you have to have something that's going to give you resistance all the time. So there's a variety of different ways to do it. Even with the glute bridges, we've taken like ultimate sandbags and put across our lap. Okay, and or put a band across your lap. Okay, if you put it inside of a rack. So there's ways to load it and to create some progressive overload with it as well.
And I think, you know, with you know, I always go back to the shoulders because I've had horrible shoulders. And, you know, people always ask me, hey, which of our cambered bars is best for me? You know, is it neutral grip or the angle? And I'm always like, grab dumbbells and do a dumbbell movement. If your hands are pronated or supinated, you'll know which way you're going to do it. Well, now you can put your hands in a better position. You know, if you have an impingement where you'll be able to do a better push-up, even without rotating. You know, so it's really good that way. So
now we're going to take the pads back off again. Okay, and now we're going to do a mixed grip push-up. Okay.
Well, wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
We're not done yet.
All right. So as you come down here, you're going to rotate and twist. All right. So palm up is going to rotate up. Okay? Right. Now this one you can load just on one side. So let's say we want to get some really good lat engagement here as we're pulling down. We could attach a band up here. And now as he pulls down, he's having to really pull and engage the lats. There we go. And now pop back up. Now if we wanted to even.
This way too?
Yeah. If we wanted to even, well, you'd need to go, now you just go one way with it. Okay, so you'd have to switch hands. So now, so now you'd have to switch it if you went the other way. So you'd get them all this way, all one way, and then you switch hands and go all the other way.
So you're kind of getting a push-pull with
it. You're getting a push-pull, right. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
If we wanted to make this a true cross-crawl movement, a true cross-crawl movement, okay, so basically supinated up and pronated back. So which leg would we need to lift up? Okay, so, so when we pronate, come back and this up. Okay, so this leg's forward here. So let me think through this and then I'll start over. Okay, so if this is up, this is back. Okay, so, all right, so if we wanted to create a true cross crawl pattern with this exercise, as he rotates up, his supinated leg side would raise straight up in the air. And come down and now drive back up. So once again, now, just like with any of the single leg stuff we do, now there's stabilization through the hip. And now the core's having to stabilize different, shoulders having to stabilize different, okay? So that would be a cross crawl pattern, all right?
As soon as you get down with that leg elevated, you can feel that. Because you kind of lose it at the end.
It's crazy. Okay. Got one more.
These 3?
4. Yep. And see, you set it up the way I did. This little plastic pad on the bottom, that's supposed to go on top, so you don't have metal on metal.
I did the plastic on the bottom to kind of protect the plate, but either way, I don't think about it, but I can see what you're saying.
Well, but I think I like the way you did this better than this, because this on some of the pads will dig in, and so that's a little flatter. It gives you a little bit more clearance. So I think I like that a little bit better. Feeling it, your chest. Yep, for sure. So, what was I going to do? Oh, Copenhagen's. You know what a Copenhagen plank is?
Heard of it.
On your side.
Oh,
So you're kind of
Okay. And one leg goes up on a bench, but with this, you're going to put one foot inside of a foot here and outside here, or yeah, but we'll see. This is a new one.
Okay.
This is one I can't do. So now, Noah, I want you to get in a side plank position facing that way. And I want you to put one foot on this pad and one foot on this pad. I don't care which
Like
way you put
scissor.
it. Yep, kind of a scissor position. All right. So now, once again, this is going to be a little challenging because now you got to dig the outside of the foot into that pad and the inside here. And now this is what we teach with the Copenhagen plank. Okay. So we want a straight line. So try to squeeze those glutes forward here. All right. And now elbows in, we're locked in. Once again, elbows stacked underneath the shoulder. Now you're going to rotate and now come back the other direction. So it's kind of a cycling movement. So yeah, there you go. So one leg's staying straight, the other one's moving, is bending. And so, I mean, we've got a lot of co-contractions going on here. We've got the outer hip working. We got the inner hip. He's probably feeling it in his hamstrings, or I'm sorry, outer hip, inner thigh.
Yep.
And it's probably through the hamstrings, probably through the hip flexors. I mean, he's working muscles in a way that he's probably never worked them.
Now, do you think that's stretching the hip flexor when you're coming through?
You know, and I guess it depends on how much you're pulling.
Yeah.
You know, through.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how much you're pulling. I think the big thing, like anytime we do Copenhagens, which would just be with the top leg on the bench, we do Copenhagen marching at our place. So we go back and forth between bottom foot and top foot. We really talk about keeping the shoulders to the heel in a straight line. So a lot of times people want to hinge back.
Yep.
So we try to squeeze that glute. All right. Where are you feeling that?
Side, and then like
Inner thigh, yeah.
Going back.
Inner outer thigh, and that's where you should feel it.
Yeah.
You know how much hamstring you get. I don't know. It depends on how weak you are there. You're probably gonna, we'll compensate.
Yeah.
And you'll see where weaknesses are for sure.
Yeah, it's going to expose everything.
It's going to expose everything. Yeah. So yeah, if your obliques are weak,
You're going to fold.
you're gonna fold.
Yep.
Yeah. And once again, if you're weak through the inner outer thigh, and once again, this is a more advanced movement. So if you can't hold a Copenhagen plank,
Right. You're not going to do that.
no, you're not going to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is once again, this is an upper level exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for someone who can hold a Copenhagen plank and maybe even then lift that top foot and hold, and hold that position with the bottom leg, into the floor as well. So
When you were in that position, did you feel any stress on your shoulder at all, or was it basically everything was isolated below?
No, shoulders were fine.
And I think with any of the push-up movements too, and this is something I think I failed to mention earlier, but we always talk about keeping the shoulders down.
Yep.
And one thing we'll see people try to shrug a little bit, which is an indication that we've got something going on there that's not good.
Yeah.
Or it could just be a technique thing, but a lot of times people will try to compensate if they have.
So you're driving the shoulder blades down and back.
Yeah, so down and back with everything we do. Yep. Down and back with everything we do, just trying to trying to squeeze those arms to the side.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. But, we talked about that with bending the bar. You try to bend the bar, it automatically puts you in that position. It packs your shoulders. Okay, but yeah, same thing here. Even in that plank position, you see people want to get up here, but try to lock down, try to engage the lats. We tell them try to flex the lats, drive that elbow into the ground and try to flex those lats as you're performing this movement. So
Super awesome.
Yeah, it's no joke for sure.
Yeah.
So we ran you through for about 25 minutes. I mean, and you're sweating and you're gassed and you're feeling it from head to toe.
and you worked your whole body.
Entire body.
Yeah, it's true.
You worked your whole body. So yeah, for sure. So yeah, great training tool, very unique tool. You can perform a lot of very unique movements with it. And the one thing that our athletes think it's fun.